Hello, everybody.
Hey, hey.
Good afternoon, good evening. This is Dr. Shiraz Farooq and Sydney Farooq, board certified colorectal surgeon, and my spouse, Sydney Farooq here. We're talking to you live from
Colorado, America.
in Tampa, Florida.
Yes.
Our talk is DaBootyDoc Talk.
If you haven't joined us before, the DaBootyDoc Talk is designed to educate you a little bit, have some discussion, keep you entertained. We want to not give you medical advice, but share our thoughts and some information on things that are related to colorectal health.
And this is a casual discussion, guys. We're here. Our goal is to try and keep you a little entertained also, and maybe some funny jokes, which according to Sydney are not so funny.
I don't know. I'm the funny one, I
think. Yes, you are.
So if you haven't joined us, we do this talk once a week on Thursdays. Starts at 7, goes to 7:30. So this week we're having our episode number 22.
Yes, guys, 2-2. We've been here most of the year trying to do this talk with Sydney and me, and our goal, as she mentioned, is to tickle you a little bit and give you some knowledge, and hopefully that will make you wonder about life, the universe, and everything.
So this week's episode, number 22, thanks again for joining us. We are talking about fiber, one of our favorite topics, and colorectal health. So this will be a good one.
Absolutely, guys. As you know, colorectal surgeons all over the world are talking about fiber all the time. The gastroenterologists are talking about fiber all the time. Gut health is a big deal, okay? Your digestive health basically involves around eating better food. And fiber, as we know, has been found to be one of the best things that you can do for your diet. So we thought we'll touch on this as a topic rather than sprinkle it amongst in each discussion that we've had.
A little fiber for you. I should have worn my Eat More Fiber top today.
Correct.
I wasn't thinking.
Yes, fiber is an important topic. And what is fiber?
Well, I know. No, I'll leave it to the doctor to answer. All right, Dr. Farooq, what is fiber?
Okay, I'll give it in a scientific knowledge and you just explain it a little bit better. Okay. So fiber is cellulose, which is
lost me already.
undigestible plant material that you eat, that is in an apple peel, inside it, in pineapples, in fruits, in vegetables. It's the roughage that you eat that you cannot digest. Some of that is fiber.
It's the coconut husk you chew on.
Yes, you actually can make different ropes out of it and strings and other things from fiber. That's true.
Fiber serves a purpose, but the fiber that the undigestible part of plant matter.
So there's also soluble fiber, which is the inside of the apple, the fleshy part, the pineapple, the pumpkin, the carrots, the lentils. All the plants have both the soluble part and the insoluble, undigested part. So fiber is all of that. So fiber is plant material. It's not animal material. So when we talk about fiber, we're talking about a plant-based diet.
Your fruits, your veggies,
your lentils, all of that good stuff.
No chicken or beef. So like you mentioned, there's 2 different kinds of parts to fiber. So it can be divided into 2 types of category. So some food types might have both types of fiber. Some might have one or the other. So these are soluble and insoluble fiber you mentioned.
So the important part is that fiber is a crucial part of our diet. I would say that it should be part of the food pyramid, guys. We have not done that so far. In the food pyramid, we have proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. Somebody forgot to add fiber.
I never even heard about it until I knew you.
So instead of a food triangle, we should have a food rectangle.
That's right, with fiber in each corner.
Yes, fiber is very important for all of us to eat. And our mothers and grandmothers have been talking about eating your veggies and fruits for a long time.
Little did they know, it was for the fiber.
So it's also the moral fiber that defines a society and a human being. And that is also very important, which is the Gestalt feeling, the intrinsic value of somebody. So fiber should be also regarded as the intrinsic value of a food. So is it rich in fiber or not?
higher moral fiber if you have a higher fiber diet with plant matter?
I think if you poop better, you're going to evacuate all the crap out of you. So it's possible that you could have better
So your moral fiber may be better too. Well, I always get a little confused about the difference between soluble fiber and insoluble fiber. And this is something important to learn because when you're shopping for fiber products or considering different foods, you want to know the good balance between the two because you need both soluble fiber and insoluble fiber, correct?
Yeah, so for example, a grain of wheat, okay, has soluble fiber inside, and the outside husk and the leaves and everything else may have more insoluble fiber. So whole wheat, which has both soluble and insoluble parts mixed together, it's browner in color because you have the husk and all the other plant materials grinded in with the seed itself. Gives you a better value because now you have both soluble and insoluble fiber in it. So when we talk about whole foods, not the department, but complete foods, okay, we're talking about their nutritional value. We should also talk about their fiber value because we are realizing that fiber is good for your gut and your butt.
Primarily your bottom. So digestive health, fiber benefits it. So soluble fiber, it, as far as I know, is
like a gel. So I give this example sometimes that when you're mopping a floor, you're going to use some soap and you're going to use a mop. Okay, so the soap is like the gel that's going to remove the nasty stuff, but then you need a brush or a mop to mop it all out. So the insoluble fiber is that mop or that material that will remove the gel and everything else with it.
So to break it down, something that is soluble is dissolvable by water. So our body has water content in it. When you're consuming that soluble fiber, it breaks down, gets dissolved by the water some, and creates, like you said, a gel-like substance. So that
you're so right. I didn't even explain that.
I'm trying for you to help out.
I know.
So, so yeah. It's the water in your body kind of helps mix with that soluble fiber.
I thought everybody knew what soluble and insoluble meant.
Not a day.
Soluble is anything that dissolves in water.
Correct.
Insoluble is anything that sinks in water or doesn't dissolve or floats and separates. So those are the easy ways to look at it. If it dissolves and you drink it, you're drinking soluble fiber.
Right.
Okay? Or if this is a powder-like thing, it may change color, but that's what it is.
So you might see fiber supplements that are like fiber oils or powders.
Powders and capsules and stuff that you can mix and you can drink it, and that will be the gel form of the soluble fiber. The insoluble fiber is the one that looks like sawdust. You mix it in, it sinks to the bottom, or it particulates inside the water. And when you try to drink it, you may choke on it. So don't do that, okay?
Fiber kills?
No, fiber doesn't kill, but fiber can be difficult to swallow if it's in an insoluble form and you try to chug it down with water.
And not all sources of fiber, again, have both soluble and insoluble fiber. So it might be one or the other. You might consider like an apple is a good source of fiber, but the skin of the apple would be insoluble fiber, whereas the dissolvable parts of the apple, the more liquid parts, would have soluble fiber.
Correct. So different plants have different quantities of soluble and insoluble fiber, but overall, eating fruits, vegetables, lentils, legumes, whole wheats, different rices, all these things are healthy for you. It's really, really very good.
So dig a little deeper when you're researching fiber that you want to intake. You want to make sure that you're getting both types of fiber because they're both beneficial. And we touched base about like the gel-like fiber of the soluble fiber. So that's gonna pass through your system. Does it feed your gut bacteria or?
So that brings a good part. So fiber is also very important for your gut because it also helps to feed the colon bacteria, and that's why it's called a prebiotic food. Okay, prebiotics are basically non-dissolvable parts of the food that are fermented in the body, and they produce different gases and chemicals that are food for the bacteria that live inside. So that is what a prebiotic is. Probiotics are the live bacteria that you ingest that can supplement and add to the bacterial count inside the colon.
You're eating that good gut bacteria.
Correct.
So how is soluble fiber then benefiting your digestion?
So soluble fiber is great for you because when it becomes a gel, it can go inside the body and it can absorb the bad cholesterol. It can absorb the sugars, and those can be then removed by the body.
So that gel is binding with different chemicals and molecules in
Correct. So they attract the cholesterol from the colon lining, and that lining then keeps the cholesterol with it, and you poop it out.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with the various sugars you do. That's what happens.
Mm.
But most soluble fibers work better if you have an insoluble fiber acting like a mop to push the gel forward.
Yeah, and I like that. You said like the soluble fiber, the gel-like part of it, you can consider the soap. And then the mop is the insoluble, so the part that doesn't break down from the plant, but kind of scrubs and bulks everything together. It's like a bulking agent.
So bulking agent. So what a bulking agent is basically something that you eat and it makes your poop bigger, softer, and bulkier. So that kind of food, it acts like a brush inside a baby's bottle. You know, when you have bottle brush, when you're trying to clean a bottle and you have to use a brush to clean it, same thing. What is happening is that inside your colon, there are various ridges and crevices where food can hide and poop can form and stay stuck there. So when you're eating insoluble, fleshy, fruity, veggie-like plant material, that's gonna be hard to chew sometimes. You have to chew a lot. And when all out. But in that mechanism of pooping it out, mixing with the gel and the food, it is scrubbing your colon clean. So that's the beauty of fiber, guys. It's an amazing product. God is very smart, or the entity out there. So the goal is to make sure that you eat enough fiber every day.
So fiber's kind of overarching benefit is that it's stimulating your bowels. It's getting your digestive system working. It's starting to push things along that might be stuck there. It's collecting different things along the way.
And that's part of the insoluble fiber's job, is to allow the contraction and the motility of the colon to move forward. So
There's that stimulation
and movement in the colon improves with eating fiber.
Now, he mentioned like, all right, it's gonna bulk your stool and get that mass working. That sounds a little scary, right? We don't want like a big lump inside of us. You're like, isn't that what is wrong with me already? I'm constipated, but it has the right consistency to it. So fiber helps bulk the mass, but keep it in the right consistency, so you're not just getting a blockage, you're stimulating the bowels, you're getting that flow going, it's taking the right things out of your system, it's cleaning it up a little bit along the way.
Correct. So it plays many roles. It's a fantastic thing to add to your diet.
If your goal is bowel regularity, then you need more fiber, I would say.
Correct. Very correct, guys. Fiber is very important for good bowel movements. Good poops, amazing stuff, you know. Very important.
Now, if I'm fiber deficient, so I don't have enough fiber in my system, what's going to happen to me?
Oh my God, you're going to have a terrible time. You know why? Because both your gut and butt are going to be very upset with you.
Am I going to be constipated?
You're going to get constipated. You can get various problems. You can get hemorrhoids. You can get anal fissures, anal fistulas, abscesses. You can get various problems of the anal rectum, which is the gate. So the gate can have problems if the things are not moving through it.
So it's not that the lack of fiber is going to cause me to have these problems necessarily, but if I'm not having regular bowel movements, I'm not passing the things through like they should be, I'm struggling, I'm straining to push
a lot.
I might get hemorrhoids, I might get a tear in my anus, I might have other problems because the fiber is not helping the mechanics.
Correct. So the mechanics and the mechanical force used during a bowel movement is such that if you eat more fiber, it allows everything to go through you.
So if I'm not stimulating my system with fiber, then I'm getting backed up and I'm getting chronically constipated.
And when you get backed up, you know what increases? Your risk for colorectal cancer.
This part is interesting, right?
So guys, what happens is that our food is supposed to stay in touch with the colonic lining, the lining of the colon, for a certain time. So if you're backed up and you ate some food and it has different toxins in it, different chemicals, microplastics, etc. Yes, we eat a lot of microplastics, all of us do. So if these agents stay in the body and they're not moving out, like we say, you got to move it. So if you have to move it, and if you're not moving, and you're not having good bowel movement, your risk for colorectal cancer increases over time because the food and the toxins are in touch or in contact with the lining of the colon.
So you're increasing the exposure to these toxins. So if you have a mass of poop sitting inside of you, it's touching that lining of the colon, it's spreading those toxins, it's allowing them to have more exposure.
And they can get absorbed by the body more readily, and that can allow you to develop problems like polyps and potentially cancer.
Right.
And what we have found out is that colorectal cancer and many other cancers are now attributable to a diet that is lacking fiber.
So if you're hearing about correlations with fiber, higher fiber and less cancer, that is relative, because it's not that the fiber is preventing cancer, but if it's helping your system be regular, you're not getting issues and colorectal diseases that you might encounter if you're not regular, you're backed up, you're constipated.
Sydney, I think I would like to make a statement here that all the foods that we eat, okay, of all the things that can prevent colorectal cancer, we talk about colonoscopies as a screening tools that can prevent colorectal cancer because you can diagnose it early. But I don't see people talking about, eat more fiber because that will prevent you from getting colorectal cancer.
Spread the word.
I mean, that's a very simple, easy answer. If everybody knew that eating extra fiber will decrease your risk, that's a great thing.
You can think of it this way too. If you're more conscientious of your diet, then you're probably going to be a healthier individual too. So there's a correlation. If you're eating more fibers, you're paying more attention to your dietary needs, you're fulfilling those needs. So you're going to have a lower risk of disease and cancer.
Including heart disease. Okay, guys, when this is important, again, heart disease, we know, is due to high cholesterol. And I spoke and I told you that the gel-forming soluble fiber absorbs the cholesterol from the body and expels it out with every bowel movement. So you actually decrease your cholesterol over time if you add more fiber. Same thing with your blood glucose. In patients who are diabetics, their insulin resistance.
We only say it like that, by the way.
Is also changed because the diet at that time influences the blood glucose mechanism. So your blood glucose metabolism improves when you eat more fiber. Your glucose stabilizes. For example, if you eat a piece of candy, your blood glucose is going to spike up higher. But if you eat, say, a fibrous fruit, or say like a pear or a date or a fig, you are going to spike your blood sugar slowly and gradually, and then slowly go down. So it's beneficial for your body to not go through the zigzag, high sugar, low drop process with refined foods. But adding wholesome foods will make a difference because your blood sugar will spike less and will be more stable.
So I want fibrous sugars.
Yes, you want fibrous sugar. You don't want refined sugars. So fiber is part of...
A bag of M&Ms before this talk is not a good idea.
Bad idea.
But I can eat like a handful of dates.
Yes, a handful of dates would be good. Figs, lentils, legumes, peanuts, almonds, fruits.
That's what I want to talk about next, because we keep saying fiber, eat fiber, eat fiber. Well, there's not like a bag of fiber at the store, okay? So and we're generalizing. We're like, all foods that are fruits and vegetables have fiber. This is true. So if you're looking for fiber sources, There's like an American guide out there that you can research. It'll give you literally all the foods and all their fiber contents. And so
Most Americans, however, do not eat enough fiber, despite the information being out there.
but you can grab that resource. If you want, message me. I got a whole book on it. I'll send it to you. So I love this.
Do you know how much fiber an average American eats right now?
I would say 10 to 12.
No, 5 to 10 grams
No
of fiber.
way.
Yes, we are eating very less fiber, especially the younger crowd that's eating fast, go, quick
That's
meals.
because you guys out there aren't even eating one piece of fruit all day.
Well, they're all eating French fries.
That's not what I'm talking about.
That's
A
not
French
a
fry
fruit.
shaped like an apple.
I'm sure there's somebody who has that.
The chicken nuggets shaped like things. So yeah, you gotta make sure you're putting these things into your body. It's not that hard. So you got a whole list of fiber foods. Pick like 2 or 3 things off that you love. I bet you're like, avocados have fiber? I didn't even know. I eat like an avocado every week.
You know,
So-
same thing with carrots.
Yeah, so I want to discuss, all right, what are some good fiber foods? You mentioned like carrots, legumes, wheat.
lentils, wheat
lentils.
products, cereals, barley, oats.
Now,
grains.
I'm not really a big proponent of cereal, okay? It's
No,
like false advertising. They're like, eat this box of fiber.
No, that's in General Mills telling you that eat that box, and the cardboard has
Cardboard
more
has more
nutrition.
fiber.
Has more fiber than what's in
So
the.
cereal has very little nutritional value.
If you
Do not
are
be
going
fooled.
to eat cereal, you should get it whole grain cereals. You can get wild oats and
uncracked
soak
wheat.
them, or you can add ground flaxseed to your cereal bowl, like I do, because I know
That's how I make them.
that the box of cereal I'm eating doesn't have anything. So there are bags of fiber out there. Ground flax is one of them. You
You're
can
right.
get
I
that.
thought about that.
You can get a bag of ground up flaxseed and add that into your cereal, and that's like sawdust. It's non-digestible
He
plant
makes
material.
it sound so appealing. You buy your non-digestible sawdust and eat it by the bag.
Well,
Well, so what's unique about flaxseed, and this is one of the reasons why we tell all of our patients about flaxseed in particular, is because it is a superfood when you're talking about
Yes.
fibers, and it has both soluble and insoluble fiber
and
in one.
has omega-3s and lignans, which we'll touch about another time. So there has a lot of chemicals that allow you to become
Flaxseed is the ticket.
to become better at adding more fiber to your diet.
But not all fibers are easy. So like a bunch of ground flaxseed, you gotta mix it with something like we're saying. Make sure you're mixing it with something that's equally as beneficial to you, not like a bowl of cinnamon toast crunch.
Adding it to yogurt, adding it to applesauce, adding it to smoothies and shakes, cooking with it, baking with it, are all good ways to eat insoluble fiber, because insoluble fiber has to emulsify for us to eat it. It has to form a paste, or it has to be in some form where we don't taste it as much. It's not as so gritty.
While we're talking about flaxseed too, if this is an experiment you want to do, you can see actually with flaxseed very easily what we're talking about, because if you take like a big pot of oatmeal you just made, it's very wet, very sticky. Add a couple spoonfuls of ground flaxseed into your oatmeal, and it'll become this glob immediately.
It'll actually dry up, and what it'll do is absorb more water. So the thing with fiber that I wanted to also touch on is that you have to drink a lot of water with it. Okay, if you don't drink water, the poop that mixes with the fiber becomes a sponge. Okay, that sponge has to absorb more water to become softer. So softer
Stay
poop
hydrated.
and hydration is the equal part of fiber intake. I didn't talk about the fact that most Americans need 25 to 35 grams of fiber a day.
That's why I was surprised when he said we eat about 5 to 10, because
10.
I thought at least we were getting half of that. And men and women need different variations of fiber too.
Correct. If you eat too much fiber, you eat more than 25, 35, 45 grams,
Yeah, I was wondering
you're
about
going to
that.
pass a lot of gas, you're going to annoy some of your friends,
Hmm.
and you may get bloating and diarrhea, and sometimes irritable bowel syndrome like issues.
So don't discourage your body from enjoying the fiber that you provided. The trick is to
Go slow.
gradually increase your fiber intake. So if right now you're like, I never eat fruits and vegetables, my fiber is probably nothing except for this little bottle I bought from the store, this fiber supplement. So you gotta ease into it, because if you just start downing fiber, you're gonna be like, I'm even more bloated. Well, it's doing its job, but at too much of a rate.
The other thing I wanted to tell is that most foods that are supplements are not whole foods. Okay, think outside the box. Meaning, think outside the box. Meaning, think outside the box.
So
or package.
your solution's not in a box, like
not in a box or a plastic bag or something.
or like
it is something that grows out there. Okay, it's on a tree, on a plant, or something, not manufactured necessarily.
And a lot of fibers might be in foods that you're like peeling or skinning. So keep that in mind too. You know, the skin of the apple, the potato, things on, include them, because you're gonna get higher fiber from that too.
And also, supplements should only supplement your diet. Mm-hmm. So if you're using a fiber supplement, whether it's a gummy, a powder, a drink, oil, all doesn't have any fiber, or anything else like that, you should not be taking more than 5 to 10 grams of that. Because when you do that, you're going to get bloating, you're going to get a lot of discomfort.
Yeah.
So add more fiber in a wholesome manner. You know, that's where you were talking about celery, eating pistachios, eating broccoli, Brussels sprouts, eating carrots, eating lentils, beans, so amazing stuff. Mm-hmm. So all of these things, when you cook them, mm-hmm. and you actually spend time doing that.
Oh yeah, brown rice versus white rice. Because like he's saying, it has the husk on it still, so just like whole wheat.
Whole rice, something like that is going to be helpful for you. So make that a part of your life, guys. You're going to feel less bloated. You'll feel emptier, not full and full of stuff, but you'll have a better outcome.
Stuff, don't you mean?
Poop. I meant poop. Sorry. Full of poop. So you will be less full of poop if you can poop it out.
And you might hear that high fiber diet helps you lose weight too. So that's not a myth. It's not a weight loss supplement
but it's the most natural way for you to lose weight is to eat more fiber, because then you will feel full and you won't eat more.
Yeah, there's two reasons. One, we talked about, it absorbs water, it's bulking. So the soluble and insoluble fiber together bulk your mass, they're cleaning it out. So you're going to get full quicker if you're consuming foods that are high in fiber.
That's the other part which most people don't do. Eat less. Okay, guys?
Eat less higher food. Fiber, less food.
When you eat more fiber, you're going to eat less food. So
and then
think of that.
Not only is it filling you up more, so you're eating less. That's one reason why you're going to lose a little bit of weight. You're not consuming as much food because you're full quicker. You're also pooping it out.
Exactly.
It's making you more regular. Maybe you're like, I only poop once every 3 days. Well, now you're pooping every day. And that extra pound or two is coming through.
And what will that do over time is that it's going to make you more active. It's going to help your skin, your hair, your nails. All of these are true facts. All of these things happen when you eat a healthier diet.
Actually, we just made this whole episode up and none of it is true.
I don't think so.
Prove me wrong.
Most colorectal surgeons, most gastroenterologists, most doctors,
most wives,
and most moms and grandmas will always tell you, eat your lentils, eat your beans, eat your fruits.
His dad must have terrible food advice because he never includes them in food advice. Always the moms and grandmas.
Well, no, I mean, that's true too, but I think most dads are
less conscientious.
Not cooking, you know, the cooking part is done by most moms and grandmas.
I mean,
mostly. Anyways, we're out of time,
that's
guys.
Another topic.
This is the DaBootyDoc Talk with Shiraz and Sydney. Yay. Today's topic was fiber. Fiber is essential for you. Our message to you is very simple. Eat more fiber today. How do you say it?
Eat more fiber today.
Today, because if you don't eat it today, what are you going to wait for tomorrow?
Plus, if you're feeling like fasting something, I want to get out of me as soon as possible.
So make sure that your meal has some good fruits, vegetables, some greens, some colors, some roughage, because at the end of the day, your butt and your gut are gonna thank you. This
It might
comes
be loud and noisy.
musical. This comes from the DaBootyDoc himself and my spouse, Sydney.
Why did I marry the booty duck?
Guys,
Hope
we
you
are-
enjoyed our show.
we are very happy to be here. Thank you very much
Yeah,
for joining
let
us
us know what
today.
you want to talk about next time. We'll be posting on our social media. So we're happy to have you here. Thank you so much. Give us
Fiber
your
is
comments.
very good.
That's right. You
Thank
heard
you
it.
very much.
Thank
You
you.
have a
Have a good night.
fantastic day. Bye-bye.